we're really honored and delighted to have with us His Excellency Andrej Plenkovic, Prime Minister of Croatia, attending with us COP27. Mr. Prime Minister, always great and honor having you with us at COP27. How is COP27 making a difference, since we have the motto from vision to implementation? So implementation is a key word.
Thank you very much, first of all, for hosting me in the Nile TV program, and it's a pleasure to be here in Sharm el-Sheikh. Also, I would like to thank the Egyptian President Al-Sisi and also the Prime Minister, Mr. Madbouli, whom I met in a bilateral meeting today, for hosting this COP27. Indeed, as you said, the buzzword of this conference by all the parties to the convention, of course, is the implementation. Not every single COP can be a referential conference where we would commit to new dates, but here what I felt over the past 2 days, both in bilateral meetings and having listened to a large part of the speeches of the colleagues, is that everybody is taking the issue of global warming seriously, that we are committed to implement what we said last year, whether it's the Fit for 55, whether it's the carbon neutrality. I think that the weather conditions, which have been really bad over the past year, have demonstrated that if we do not act now, we shall see far more worse situation in the years to come. In my country, this year, the temperature of the sea in the Adriatic, which is a little bit north from here, was for the first time almost 30 degrees Celsius. And what the meteorologists are telling us, that this, the warmest summer since the meteorological records, might be seen in the future as one of the coldest or cooler ones. So this explains the, I would say, the immediate necessity to act.
How is Sharm making the difference? We're talking implementation, we're talking sustainability, and at the same time we're bringing on the table files that are very important for this sense of implementation, like climate finance, which is also key.
I think it is essential. First of all, we all know that the countries who are richer, who are more developed, should shoulder bigger burden and make a bigger contribution, and I think this was very clear, especially last year in Glasgow, where you could see the commitment that came up from the European Union and other key actors across the world. I think we need some other major players to follow that line, and also to alleviate the burden for those who are less developed. But the point of the fight against the climate change, that it is done globally. We can't make a very good effort in a fragmented sense in one part of the world and then the other ignores the issue. The overall result will be negative. That's why we need to be really keeping everyone on board, and that's why the key word of the implementation was essential here.
Yes, Mr. Prime Minister, we're engaging the youth because they are the future. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is investing in the youth, and we can see here lots of climate champions are youth. How do you see that? How is that important?
Well, I see that it's happening across the globe. When I talk to our youth in Croatia, now I've been Prime Minister already for full 6 years, and I'm in the 7th year of being Prime Minister. I can tell you, when we meet the young generation, compared to those who are more experienced, the fear of the future, not only for their kids, but even for themselves, is visible. This was an issue that didn't exist 30 years ago, let's say, among my generations when we were their age. Today, they are more aware, they are more action-oriented, they have a greater sense of social responsibility, and also they are pushing us and pressing us for actions. So everything that we as governments or the private sector or the international organizations or the media can do now will create better conditions for our successors, our families, our kids, and our generations to come, but not in some sort of elusive non-clear calendar. It is actually happening in the next couple of decades.
Yes.
So this is the issue.
Yes, Mr. Prime Minister, a message from the mother of the world to the whole world about COP27. How do you see the organization? How do you see amazing Sharm and the expectations of COP27?
I think it was very well organized. I feel comfortable. This is my second time in last 2 or 3 years that I'm again in Sharm el-Sheikh, and the level of organization is the highest one. You can be proud on it. Everything was brilliant. All the compliments.
Yes, and also the sky is always the limit, let me say, vis-a-vis our sense of partnership and strong bond with Croatia.
Well, absolutely. I really am pleased that I spoke to your Prime Minister today. He has invited me to visit officially Egypt, to come to Cairo. I have invited him to Zagreb. We will soon conclude the convention on the avoidance of double taxation. We have increased our trade and doubled it over the last year. What I think we should do is have more links, because we are both Mediterranean countries, and these are the routes that are having a long historic ties between Croats and the Egyptians, and I think that our cooperation in scientific, in cultural field, in tourism should be increased and brought to a higher level, as you said.
Yes, thank you so much, Your Excellency, Prime Minister Andrej Plenkovic, Prime Minister of Croatia, for joining us here exclusively on Nile TV International. Great honor and pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.